keep my emotions guarded.
This retreat could have helped the family. If Robyn and Cody hadn't sabotaged it, in season 6, the family travels to Sedona for a marriage retreat.
I think Sedona was good. It challenged us.
And it quickly becomes clear that Robyn has a strong aversion to therapy. It's not just skepticism, it feels like fear. She seems genuinely uncomfortable with the idea that a therapist might see through her carefully crafted image. Another pattern emerges during this episode: Robyn's jealousy of Christine. She maintains a close alliance with Mary, possibly to control the narrative or maintain influence, but her real competition is clearly Christine. From the very beginning, Robyn seemed threatened.
He's like, oh, you put pepper on it. That's okay. Christine will show you how to make my eggs.
Back in season 1, there's a moment where Cody tells Robyn to ask Christine how he likes his breakfast prepared. And Robyn's irritation is obvious. That moment spoke volumes.
We have a little bit of a change this year. Christine will be home more than she was last year because she has Truly.
Christine naturally embodied the central role in the family. She managed the household, raised the children, worked part-time, and held the family together with emotional labor that often went unrecognized. In contrast, Robyn struggled to contribute in the same way. That difference may have fueled a lingering resentment, one that seemed to manifest in subtle ways throughout the years.
And it's everybody else will talk about it, about me, or I'll talk about it about you, or whatever the case.
Later in the series, Cody mentions that the wives often talked about each other. Given the tension, it's not a stretch to assume Robyn criticized Christine behind closed doors, possibly as a way to redirect Cody's loyalty. During the Sedona retreat, Robyn skips a group therapy session, citing back pain. However, it's worth noting that this absence conveniently follows her open distrust of Nancy, the therapist. It gives the impression she was avoiding accountability or vulnerability. For the others who committed to the experience, both emotionally and financially, this would understandably be frustrating. Expressing doubts about therapy after everyone has arrived and participated comes across as disingenuous. Robyn's comment about not trusting therapy is also significant. Blanket distrust of therapy often signals a deeper discomfort with introspection or a fear of being challenged. The group dynamic suffers when one member opts out of the process.
In the field of psychology is going to appear to be a feminist to us.
Cody, for his part, doesn't help matters. He quickly dismisses Nancy simply because she's a woman, claiming she would bring a feminist perspective he didn't want to hear. His unwillingness to be questioned by a female professional suggests a deeper fear of being exposed or losing control of the narrative.
If everybody else is for it and I'm the odd one out, I'm just going to speak louder. I'm not going to do it.
Ironically, the two people in the family who seem to need therapy the most, Cody and Robyn, are the ones who resist it. The retreat becomes more performative than productive when major participants won't engage. There's also the issue of the personality test.
I never took it, but I remember it, yeah.
You never took it? I never did.
Robyn is shown taking it during this episode, yet later denies ever participating. Christine once referenced the results, suggesting they described Robyn as someone who enjoys drama. Robyn's defense? She claimed Christine might have taken the test for her. The denial is not only bizarre, but also easily disproven.
I delved into it because I was fascinated with the different kind of personalities that we all have.
Instead of addressing it maturely, perhaps by acknowledging how the reaction to the results made her feel, Robyn chose to deflect, creating even more confusion. Another key moment involves a group art exercise centered on body placement.
What we're going to do is let you sculpt here.
Robyn places herself between Cody and Mary, subtly asserting her position. Later, when Mary opens up and begins to cry during a session, Robyn appears more upset with the therapist for asking difficult questions than concerned for Mary. Rather than supporting a moment of emotional honesty, she seemed to resent it, possibly because Mary's vulnerability could cast Robyn in an unfavorable light. Throughout the series, Robyn has often avoided direct conflict while maintaining a narrative of victimhood. She lies when the truth would suffice and denies things that are on camera. She could have easily addressed the personality test with transparency, even using it to appear more relatable. Instead, she chose denial. Rather than offering strength to support the family, Robyn positioned herself as fragile and helpless, a dynamic that drew sympathy from Cody but alienated others.
My kids are very attached to Christine.
Her bonds with most of the children remain shallow, in stark contrast to Christine, who earned their love through consistent care and connection. That affection gave Christine real influence, which likely only intensified Robyn's resentment. Ultimately, Christine was the heart of the family. Robyn recognized that and did everything she could to undermine it. Not through contribution or connection, but through manipulation and exclusion. And in the end, what remained was a fractured family and a desperate effort to control the narrative. Here's what no one's saying out loud. Robyn didn't just benefit from the family breaking apart. She engineered it. Why doesn't Robyn feel any guilt? It's baffling.
Cody didn't feel like my boys were being very safe. He didn't trust them. He thought they were going to contaminate us all.
Her husband is estranged from nearly all his children because he consistently chose her and her kids over everyone else. And on top of that, they spent money that was meant for the entire family. Most people would feel at least some remorse. But her? Nothing. Not a flicker of accountability.
I'll tell you what, there's a divine aspect about my relationship with Robyn.
And why would she? She got exactly what she wanted.
Like, just talking to the kids as much as you can. Like I just don't know why you're not reaching out to them more.
Take that dramatic little scene of her and Cody outside in the snow, the one where she's pleading with him to reconcile with his children. Please. That wasn't genuine. It was filmed after a major tragedy, clearly intended to save face and rewrite the narrative. As if tears and dramatic lighting could erase years of favoritism and financial imbalance.
I deserve my fourth too.
Using shared money for personal benefit is wrong. It's dishonest. And claiming a moral high ground while doing it, that's hypocrisy. She presents herself as devout, but her behavior tells a different story.
Pick me, do something for me, do something for me.
There's a persistent sense of entitlement in her actions, the kind that says, I deserve this, no matter the cost. She portrays herself as misunderstood, victimized, never truly accepted, but from the start she expected the others to adapt to her, to make room and fall in line. When that didn't happen, she didn't compromise, she took control.
I have somebody in my life who is fundamentally loyal to me.
Cody, for his part, seems drawn to that dynamic. His ego needs someone who makes him feel dominant, and Robyn provided that, especially once the family moved into separate homes and the others embraced independence. She didn't want independence, she wanted influence, and she got it.
I've had a lot of emotions, and I keep my emotions guarded.
Now, as the reality around her starts to crack, she's retreating. Suddenly, she's quiet, emotional, reserved, but it doesn't come off as genuine vulnerability. It feels like damage control. Repetition, scripted scenes, calculated displays of emotion. It's less about healing, more about preserving an image.
When you monopolize a man in plural marriage, that's a breakup waiting to happen.
The truth is, she expected to reign over a unified family. When it all collapsed, she was unprepared. The support system she manipulated fell apart, and now she's left pretending things are fine, because the alternative is admitting her role in the downfall.
And that's how this season goes out. I do feel bad,
In the end, what's left is a fractured family, a trail of broken relationships, and a woman who shows no sign of guilt, only performance. Robyn Brown didn't want to sell her Vegas house, and she made sure no one else could move forward either.
About the homes in Vegas, there's been very little interest. I'm really suggesting a $40,000 drop.
In episode 5, the family discusses lowering the prices on the Vegas homes because none of them are selling.
We're sitting here in Flagstaff. These houses aren't selling. And he's like, oh, we got to cut our last.
Robyn is visibly upset about the idea of cutting prices, despite the fact that her house hasn't even been listed yet. She's emotional about the market, but hasn't taken the most basic step, cleaning out the house so it can be put up for sale.
Well, I had a family reunion planned a year ago that started getting planned a year ago.
She also claims the house is needed for a planned family reunion, but the event she's referring to is almost a year away. Financially and logically, it makes no sense.
Yeah, we're paying out a ton of money every single month.
If the concern is managing multiple mortgages, the solution would be to sell the house and plan to rent a place for the reunion when the time comes. Instead, she's holding on to the property with no clear plan and no urgency. What's especially questionable is the possibility that the mortgage was being paid from shared family funds, while any future proceeds from the sale would benefit only her and Cody. This would mean she continued building equity in a house others were helping to pay for.
We're paying on 4 rental trucks, and we're paying a daily rate on a home.
And while she claimed the house wasn't ready to be listed, it had already been packed up, 4 full-size moving trucks worth. At that point, there's really nothing left to do but clean and list it, yet that didn't happen for quite some time.
I guess I was no longer the real estate agent. I just really had to realize it was just taking too much toll on me.
Another notable detail, after Janelle stepped down as the listing agent, a different realtor was brought in. It appears the original agent, Mona, was no longer involved, possibly due to internal tensions.
Both Mary and Robyn have put their houses on the market.
Mary, on the other hand, delayed listing her house until Robyn listed hers. This ultimately worked in her favor. Robyn eventually had to put her home on the market, possibly because the other houses weren't selling and pressure was mounting.
We're not out of the woods by any means. We still have 3 houses to sell.
In the end, Robyn did sell the property, but not before delaying the process in ways that benefited her and raised serious questions about fairness and intent. Robyn didn't just show up late to Logan's graduation. She exposed the entire imbalance in the Brown family. Logan's graduation should have been a proud, memorable moment. Instead, it turned into a frustrating circus, thanks largely to Cody's frantic behavior and Robyn's lack of consideration.
Come on, guys, we are late.
Cody, caught up in a whirlwind of anxiety over finding the venue, as if GPS hadn't been invented, ended up dragging Janelle along with his panic. The result?
Hey, Madison, he's up. Are you recording? Yeah.
Janelle missed the moment her eldest son walked across the stage. Meanwhile, Robyn showed up late. No explanation that held water, no urgency despite having a cell phone like everyone else.
I got lost. I was driving around the UNLV campus trying to find this auditorium.
She couldn't even manage a simple, "Hey Siri," to help get there on time. For someone with a full-time nanny, punctuality shouldn't have been such a challenge.
I called Janelle the day before and I'm like, okay, so tell me the details I need to know.
Her lateness didn't just delay her, it disrupted the entire family's ability to arrive together and celebrate Logan properly. The favoritism was blatant. If another wife had been late, say Christine, it would have sparked a lecture from Cody about disrespect and irresponsibility, but because it was Robyn, her lateness was excused, accommodated, even prioritized over Logan's moment.
I can see kids walking across.
Cody's refusal to hold her accountable revealed just how skewed the family dynamic had become.
Logan, as the eldest, had long carried more than his fair share of responsibility.
Logan was the quintessential big brother.
He, along with Aspen, had often stepped into parental roles at far too young an age. It's fitting that both of them grew into independent adults living stable, fulfilling lives.
Logan must be doing really well at college because
Logan earned a master's degree, has a career in business, owns a home in Las Vegas, and appears to enjoy a balanced private life with his wife and pets. Aspen also earned her degree, has settled down happily with her husband, and owns a home in Utah. Neither of them has children, at least not yet, which carries a quiet irony considering how much they had to grow up before their time. After years of emotional labor and pressure, they now seem to be living life on their own terms. Robyn's late arrival to Logan's graduation wasn't just inconsiderate, it was symbolic. It reflected a lack of respect not only for Logan, but for the family as a whole. It also highlighted a troubling pattern. When Robyn falls short, others bend to accommodate her. When anyone else does, it's treated like betrayal. Logan's choice to step away from the spotlight, reject the reality show earnings, and reclaim his privacy was a decisive move that speaks volumes. It allowed him to keep his opinions, especially about family dynamics, his own. But actions speak louder than words, and showing up late to your stepson's graduation says more than enough. As for Cody, his inability to see the problem only confirms how deeply out of touch he had become. What if Cody's pandemic restrictions weren't about health, but a calculated way to cut ties with the wives he didn't want anymore?
In seasons 15 and 16, it becomes increasingly clear that Cody's strict enforcement of COVID protocols had little to do with health and everything to do with control.
You're either in complying with our standard or I'm not coming around.
His frustration wasn't rooted in fear of the virus. It stemmed from the fact that for once, his authority was being questioned. He wasn't leading a cautious family through a pandemic. He was throwing a tantrum when people stopped obeying without hesitation.
There's no going back, but I wish I could have been there. And it's a real regret. And so it has me going back.
COVID became his convenient justification for distancing himself from relationships he no longer wanted to maintain. Take Isabel's surgery, for instance. Had it been Robyn or one of her children, Cody would have quarantined for the full 6 to 8 weeks without complaint. The fact that he didn't do the same for Isabel speaks volumes about how he prioritizes based on personal preference, not fairness or fatherhood.
So it's really, really important that you guys go back to a social distancing, quasi-quarantine.
The so-called COVID rules weren't about safety. They were a test of loyalty. And even those who passed didn't fare any better.
If I was to get sick, nothing would happen. I would just be at home alone sick.
Mary followed every single guideline and still ended up isolated and forgotten.
You know, Christine's lifestyle hasn't really been infringed upon, to be honest with you, by COVID.
The selective enforcement of these rules was striking. While Cody and Robyn were spotted out in public, unmasked, other family members were held to rigid standards. It's evident the rules were never truly about protecting anyone. They were about tightening control over those already being pushed away.
Are you saying Garrison and Gabe can't be around?
I'm just like, what?
The expectations placed on Janelle and Christine were impossible. Either comply with arbitrary demands or lose access to their husband and father. When they didn't comply, it clearly surprised him. The same applied to their children, particularly during the holidays. When obedience wasn't automatic, Cody appeared genuinely baffled, as though the concept of personal boundaries had never crossed his mind.
It's been 6 months of, oh, Dad, this is a...
Even if Janelle and Christine had fully followed the rules, the outcome would likely have been the same. Mary's situation proves that compliance wasn't rewarded. It was ignored.
It's your decision. The whole COVID quarantine is your decision.
Cody's admission that he didn't want to attend Isabel's surgery, partly because it meant spending extended time with Christine, reveals more than he intended. This wasn't about risk or safety. It was about convenience and preference. His priorities have never been clearer. Himself first, followed by everyone else, ranked according to how much he favors their mother. Nothing about Cody and Robyn's COVID rules made sense. And here's the proof.
I guess Cody has come up with very specific rules about how we get together.
Cody and Robyn had the most ridiculous, over-the-top rules for their immediate family. You'd think they were guarding a royal palace, but somehow, a nanny,
You have a nanny over.
What does the nanny do?
a total outsider, was allowed in and out of their home, returning to her own family every night. Not exactly safe bubble behavior. And let's not forget, both Cody and Robyn were home full-time with only 2 kids. Why even have a nanny?
She doesn't go anywhere. Her husband's the only one that does the shop.
Even if she followed every one of Cody's so-called safety protocols, there's no way her entire household did. But that didn't stop Cody and Robyn from using these rules as an excuse to shut out the rest of the Brown family.
Like, I live alone.
Including Mary, who was left completely isolated.
Getting tested today because our nanny, she came down with COVID.
Knowing how these two operate, it wouldn't be surprising if they caught COVID during one of their many maskless outings and blamed it on the nanny. Honestly, they're the kind of people who'd get bitten by a zombie and keep it a secret just to avoid inconvenience. Their official story?
Brianna brought COVID home from school, and Cody, ever the drama king, was apparently lying on the floor crying because he had to quarantine from Aurora for 10 whole days with a 99-degree fever. People definitely started asking questions. Christine famously asked, "What does the nanny do?"
You're telling me I'm never around and that I was not here before COVID.
And Gabe and Garrison openly challenged Cody about his inconsistency and unfairness. And really, it's still a mystery. Why do two adults who don't leave the house need a nanny? Especially when they also have 3 teenagers at home who don't go anywhere either. What exactly are they doing all day if not caring for their own kids? The most frustrating part? Cody refused to see some of his own children because he didn't think they were being careful enough. But somehow he trusted the nanny. The same nanny who ended up being exposed to COVID. Not that she gave it to them, that was Brianna, according to their version of events. The whole thing reeks of double standards. Strict rules for some, exceptions for others, and in the end, it was never really about safety. Just control, plain and simple. She claims she's clinging to polygamy, but she's pushing everyone else out. On camera, Robyn says she still wants plural marriage.
I still have hopes for marrying Cody and definitely with Janelle and Cody.
She expresses hope that Cody will work things out with Janelle and claims she's holding on to the dream that Janelle will eventually build on Coyote Pass. Sounds noble, until the truth starts slipping out. Cody reveals that he doesn't feel the need for any spiritual releases from Janelle or Christine.
Spiritually.
I don't know.
But it's Robyn who's pushing for him to get them. Despite her public claims of wanting a plural family,
Robyn's believing in that still says they need to have these marriages dissolved.
she's actively urging him to formally end his other spiritual marriages. Her real concern? That Cody remains sealed only to her. So while she talks about unity and shared dreams, she's actually pushing to shut the door on every other relationship. Yet somehow she's still trying to paint herself as the one keeping the faith.
And I'm not giving you any details about what I'm doing or whatever.
Then she pivots and declares that everyone else should focus on their own relationships and keep her name out of a conversation. This from the same person pulling strings behind the scenes to unravel the entire family dynamic. The contradiction is glaring, pushing for divorces while accusing others of interfering in her life. Is she truly pushing for closure, or using the ambiguity to keep Cody at arm's length from reconciliation with anyone else? Either way, the pattern is clear. She's spent years undermining the other marriages, ensuring her own remains central, and now demands not to be part of the fallout. It's a stunning performance in contradiction, cloaked in martyrdom. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Plenty more ahead, but that's it for me for now. I'm Elena. Take care, and ta-ta for now.